Welcome to Rabcast. I'm Daniel Weiner. I'm immensely proud of my state of Washington, well on its way to passing marriage equality legislation to be signed soon by Governor Gregoire. The passage of this critical civil rights bill, coupled with a federal court's overturning of Proposition 8 in California, seems to reflect a welcome tipping point in the growing acceptance of the sanctity of homosexual relationships and growing revulsion with the unqualified discrimination inherent in efforts to deny the GLBTQ community access to sanctioned and sacred partnerships. And while faith doctrine, particularly the Jewish Bible, has been perverted to justify prejudice in this debate, I see in this week's Torah portion, Parshat Yitro, divine mandate for all kinds of stable, loving, committed relationships as the foundation for families and society. The Parsha contains one of the most famous passages in Western religion, the Ten Commandments. The commandments can be divided into two thematic parts. The first 5 guide the relationship between God and humanity, and the second 5, relationships between people. I want to focus on that famous line admired and invoked by all parents, number 5 of God's top 10, honor your father and your mother. Apart from the obvious boon it's offered to parental authority for millennia, there is something deeper, more enduring, and more instructive in this axiom. It's interesting that it occurs amongst the first 5 commandments, guiding our relationship with God. Shouldn't it be amongst those governing human relationships? Our tradition teaches that parents are agents of God, the first to impart sacred lessons, timeless values, and transcendent principles to our children. Our parents are an extension of our relationship with God. But scholars, theologians, and commentators see a more pressing social imperative in this commandment. Cohesive and caring family relationships provide the building blocks for stable, compassionate societies. When there is peace and wholeness in the home, there is peace and wholeness in our communities. The values we learn at home and our ability to forge and sustain healthy relationships bear directly on the kinds of citizens we become, the contributors to the common good we aspire to be and to create for the next generation. And all of this is based on the support, resources, and context we provide to couples seeking to forge bonds and build families. The world that produced the Jewish Bible little acknowledged and understood the potential for serious, genuine same-sex relationships that could produce families. If they knew what we know now, they would include these couples within the loving embrace of this larger principle and promise. It is easy for the devilish, as Shakespeare aptly described them, to quote the scriptures, to cherry-pick verses out of narrative and historic context to justify almost anything. But the authority of a stray verse from Leviticus pales in comparison to the weight and worth of one of God's top 10. To honor a mother and father is less about gender specifics than it is about the forging of marital bonds and the creation of loving families. To deny significant numbers of our fellow Americans, our fellow human beings, the opportunity to enjoy these blessings is as much an affront to our civil liberties as it is a challenge to divine will. Shabbat Shalom.